Get to Division I, and here they are in their first NCAA tournament appearance, playing against the Michigan Wolverines.
Howell for Miles Che. Now Dixon rises. He swirls one out. Battle on the boards and the loose ball to Ty Magai as Aniwa Tate Jones got banged there. 7-second difference between game and shot clock. Howell, the exclamation point. Swenson initiates with Deuce Turner in as well. Fontanet out of the corner, and Aniwa Tate Jones the rebound. In transition was searching for Gray, and now Magai. Gray comes to get it. Tate Jones off the bounce. Magai flash. Tate Jones on a face-up, matched up with Kenny Poto. Goes spinning on the big man. Tate Jones finds the cutter. It's Howell who lays it in.
Kind of like the stock market was this week.
Santa Barbara?
Santa Barbara, without a doubt.
I agree with you. Gray to Howell. Howell drives him with a left hand. Scores off the wing.
Becomes appealing not only for the players, but for the coaches recruiting them. Missed three by Keith Richard.
They have like 6-year veterans.
That's right.
College athletics really, we're going through a very unique period of time right now. They got to sort some things out and actually come up with some rules.
And that's for sure. Three-pointer by Howell is good.
Alabama. Talk to him about Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. He'll wear you out.
Howell for another three. Nothing but time with the Padres in the mid-'80s when Steve Garvey got thrown out of a game for telling an umpire to go wash his car. Rochland spin move in the paint.
I don't know how he completed that pass to Maximo.
Nice move by Howell. Eyes on the back of his
head. Look at that pass.
And right back to Howell from Milovich.
They're 1 for 7 now from behind the arc.
First bucket for the Matadors in more than 4 minutes. Matadors, though, 5 straight points. They've cut the lead to a single point. We need 7 minutes to play in the first half. Gray has been so steady, Alan. When you watch the Tritons, the attention, and deservedly so, goes to Tate Jones and Magai, but Gray kind of is the conductor orchestrating everything.
Well, he's just a heady ball player.
Howell answers back.
Boy, Christensen really exerting himself against Tate Jones. That's a tough matchup for Tate. He told me before the game it was going to be a tough one.
Here's Chris Howell, and Howell gets it
in place than we were in that first game.
They've won 4 of their last 6 as Jared Hyder has his 3-point attempt wiggle out. Howell on the move, and the St. Mary's transfer lays it in. 4 straight. 49 Mustangs half a game behind Cal State Bakersfield for the final slot among the 8 teams that will be invited to Henderson for the Big West Championships next month. And Baco on the verge of a big road win up north at Davis, up 4 inside of 20 seconds up that way. Cal Poly playing from behind here at home, and Howell extends the lead to 15.
Yeah, I guess there's no Pistol Pete Maraviches this year.
No. Here's Chris Howell, has been playing well of late. He gets his own rebound on the putback. Second chance point. 15.
I think you're going to have to run some type of isolation play, get it to Tate Jones, let him go one-on-one here and see if he can get something going.
Tritons haven't scored in almost 4 minutes. Here's Howell, another 3. That looked good going out of his hands.
On tape, but how many does he drink at halftime?
Oh, that's true, too. Not quite Tarkanian biting the towel. Jeff's got to be ready. Jeff Turrio, the fabulous associate athletic director. And Howell
hosting UC Davis.
Greg, the rebounding difference, 33-19. The Runners are winning the rebound battle by big margin.
Roadrunners trying to trap a little right here now. That, of course, leaves some opening for these snipers that the Tritons have. Shot clock's at 3. That one's up and in.
It was UC San Diego, and it's Ben Loiston inside. Look at the starting lineup for UC San Diego as Howell buries a 3. That starts. They played all 5 starters in every single game. The only team to do that. Miles Che with a miss, rebounded by Aniwa Tate Jones. Early lead for UC San Diego.
Here's Hayden Gray. Little bounce pass on the backdoor cut to Tate Jones. Kick out Howell. Howell has made a three.
The ball to the rim, and those percentages are high, but Russ Turner's team have always been good offensively, but they're really good defensively this year. One of his better defensive teams.
Tritons with a three-point advantage. This is Norton K. pitch with a touch. Here's Howell open again. Oh, they keep daring him. Bench here. We told you in that opening game, he picked up a foul in the opening minute, and he went immediately to Russ Turner's bench, and that's what happened here in the opening 4 minutes of the second half here. Tritons by 2. Gray, the leading scorer, with 10 now. Out to Howell, and down goes another.
But he just keeps going until he can find you and get you to commit, and then he scores against you. Just great individual moves.
Howell walks in on the three-point. Let's remind you, he had a career-high 40 against the Tritons last game. 14 of 22 from the floor, and he made 5 threes in that game. Here's Howell, and count it! 2022 CIF Division I state championship under legendary coach Mike LeDuc.
Boy, Mike LeDuc's been forever.
Here's Howell to cut the lead in half.
Being cold and rainy.
Magai, tough fadeaway shot. That's no good. Offensive rebound by Rochlin. And this is an open look for Howell for 3, and that's the first made triple for the Tritons.
This is critical possession for San Diego, in my opinion. They don't want to get down by double digits. It will make it much more difficult. They are struggling, and credit the Rainbow Warriors. It's some of their defensive play that's causing these struggles.
What you're winning the second half, 6-0 so far. Tate Jones not really looking to shoot the 3, even though he's had some space to do so. 5 seconds. Howell on the drive, contested by Jacobs, but he's able to go off the glass and in.
One thing that CSUN's done a great job of, a steal. Howell ahead to Gray, and it got blocked from behind. But despite the Washington.
Well, that was a young man out of St. John Bosco that we previewed in the Open, and you know, he's really on a good roll right now, as we talked about. He had 43 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah, 19 against Long Beach State on Thursday in a home win. Both these teams coming off home victories. For the Tritons, they swept Santa Barbara in the season series for the 2nd consecutive year. Tate Jones, guarded by Adams, out to Howell, launches the 3 and makes it again.
In the first half, didn't get a lot of burn, but with the team not very deep coming out of the bench, he's got to stay out of foul trouble.
Another steal, the 4th for UC San Diego on the errant pass from Hargress, and Howell, target practice, second chance points. He's got a double-double as the lead goes back up to 8.
The 17th point of the game for the Highlanders from second chance opportunities.
10 points, 11 boards for Arma Trading, trying not to foul.
UC San Diego leads the Big West in scoring at 82 points per game. They're going to get a steal here. That's what they do better than all but one team in the nation. They're second in steals at 11.2 a game. Here's Howell. He's got to get the others involved. Hayden Gray's been outstanding with a steal. Steals leader in the nation. Howell again, and he makes one. D at the end of the game at a 1-point victory for the Aztecs.
You talk about the best game in the West Coast. I mean, with the net rankings, with the mid-major poll, this might be the best Big West matchup in about 30 years when UNLV was in the league.
Yeah. UC San Diego comes in at 43 in the net rankings. Irvine at 50. They're also in the top 25 others receiving votes. Somebody might be ranked come Monday. Powell drives with a right. Milovich, grad transfer from Biola up in the LA County area with a rebound. Here's Hayden Gray around the screen by Howell. Howell's going to take another. He's already made one. Billy Madison, the great academic decathlons.
Well, Eric Olin for UC San Diego has just taken out Tyler McGuy, who UC Irvine has completely shut down. How about this?
Of not allowing Cal Poly more than one shot each time down.
Well, and Ted, this is one game where the Tritons have a size advantage. Very few times do they have a size advantage, but they've got one tonight, and a good move there by. Well, we're going to have a hockey line change coming in here for the Tritons. Next dead ball.
Howell on the wing right in front of Cal Poly's bench, dribbles into the paint. Trying to create space, does, and lays it in.
Triton points. They had 22 turnovers against CSUN on Thursday. Tritons have a plus 8.8 turnover margin. That is one of the best in the nation. Gray gets the Mikey switch. Howell teeing up a triple and canning it.
Making a good pass down on the baseline.
Brown with the response. Second effort no good. Cappage on the board. The only two Tritons in double figures are Tate Jones and Magai, but they've combined for 47 points. They've combined for almost twice as many points as the Titans have on the board as Howell gets Brown in the air. And
Boba. That's a big time.
Taking advantage of some of the missed threes by UCSD. Again, you live and die at the three. You make that big three, you feel like you can pull away a lot easier, but when you start missing some of them, it is obviously a more difficult shot. That's why it's worth more points. All of a sudden you can climb back into a game if you take advantage of your opportunities, and so far San Diego has to tie it all up.
Howell with a great move.
UC San Diego continues to play good basketball here in the non-conference to finish it off, and does the same thing in conference play. Maybe they split with Irvine. It could be the same thing if Irvine wins the tournament in Vegas in March. UC San Diego's done enough on a resume to potentially sneak into the NCAA tournament.
Jones, great pass to Howell underneath the lip.
Not bad.
And now a steal. Howell takes it away. Down the floor. Layup good with the foul.
On the Aggies back in 1991. So here we go, second half. The Aggies finished final 3.5 minutes of that first half on a 12-4 run, Gary, and made 5 of their last 6 shots. They got hot.
Yeah, they came out, and a lot of that's thanks to Albury. His play off the bench has kind of came out and sparked the Aggies in a lot of ways and gave them what they needed to keep this lead.
And Albury and O'Connell both starting this second half as a layup for Howell.
Barnes thinks he did. Howell tried to kick it, leaves it off for Burke, missed it, and Howell cleans it up. The Tritons.
And Bakersfield going into tonight's game at 35.7% on three-point attempts. I mean, they want to get the ball inside. They want to drive the basket, get to the foul line, but they don't have any real dynamic three-point shooters that I've seen.
And a steal. Hayden Gray took it away. And the offensive rebound again, and the putback by
Dan Monson, the coach at Long Beach State. He was there for a long time, and he was one of the guys that kind of got that Gonzaga program going, and then turned it over to Mark Few.
Yeah, that thing became a runaway freight train after that, as Howell banks that one in.
Lawrenson cuts the Triton lead to 3. Hubbard and Wilson will check in for the Rockets' next opportunity. Hits the bottom of the net. He's got 9 points in the contest. Here's Hayden Gray, who will be guarded by Lewis. They'll swing it to Capich, looking for Tate Jones. Capich on the dribble, gets Howell in transition. Adams will pick up his third personal second team foul. Here goes Gray again. Tyler McGuy off to Howell, working on Lawrenson on the other end now. Howell reverts course and scores. No rebound. Knocked out of his hands, and Tyler McGuy comes up with it for UC San Diego. Howell right to the bucket. Veins 12-10 in favor of the Dukes. A 2-point edge as Aniwanua Tate Jones gives to Howell. Here's McGuy, the shooter. Nice give and go with Howell, and an easy 2. McGuy working on Brown. Finds Howell instead, and that back-to-back threes for Bryce Lindsey. And that's how it started yesterday for number 2. But creeps his way into the lane. He now has 5 points in the game. And the lead is now 5 for the Tritons. Back in the hands of Tate Jones. They'll work the right side with Howell. A.J. Smith right with him. Here's the switch. Anderson on Howell now. Fadeaway jumper is...
He really played some great defense the other night against Sacramento State.
Yes, he did. He's the Oregon State transfer who's shooting 61%, and that's from the field, 60% from beyond the arc. And McGuy into Howell, and the runner is good. Howell doesn't... 4 to shoot, driving is Maldonado with a left hand, and it came up short.
I've seen a little more bounce in the step here in the first few minutes of the second half for the Tritons.
Oh, Tate Jones throws it inside. Chris Howell, the bucket. Aiden Gray with 8 to shoot. Straight line in to a cutting Howell. He's met at the rim. He got blocked by Goma. Got it back.
You see his talent. Out of Belgrade, Serbia. Transfer from USF. Started his college career at SMU. Howell gave it right back to him.